and Jet
yes,
AI
yes.
team. Let's get calm, clear, and confident with our use of AI. Are you ready?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. All right. First, we're just going to talk a little bit about this thing called the Triad. Luke is on the call. Luke, say hello.
Hey, Jim. Great to be on this call. I love your new brand, Jet AI. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Luke. Luke and I have been having so much fun. We just went to a Tony Robbins 4-day event, broke through so many limiting beliefs. And then afterwards, we celebrated with our friends by going and playing around Disneyland, being Tony Robbins senior leaders in
Real
real life.
life.
It was a total blast. So today, we're going to use some of those ideas that we learned in the seminar just to get ourselves really ready and in an optimal state for learning. Who's ready to play? Who's ready to try something fun and different? All right.
Yes.
So let's go in and I'm going to share my screen and show this thing called the Triad. The Triad is about three components of creating any emotion. You know, we all think that we're going towards some goal, like mastering AI, so that we could feel a certain way. But we don't need to attain the goal to feel that way. We can feel that way on the way to the peak. We focus on three things: physiology, focus, and language. So let's talk about physiology first. We're going to want to get ourselves and our body into an awesome place, just really ready to rock. Stand up. Awesome. Breathe in all the good, all the love, all the awesomeness, and let that sink into the very core of your being. And you may find yourself smiling inside, and maybe that smile will come out on the outside. That's awesome. You guys are doing great. And then as you take that physiology, you're going to start to feel shifts. You're going to start to maybe even feel shifts in your focus. What is your mind focusing on? Are you thinking about things that you can't do? Are you thinking about things that are outside of your control? Or are you thinking about what is in your power to control, like your own focus? You might be asking, how can I make the most out of this next 90 minutes? Or how can I appreciate this moment right now? Or how can I trust more right now? Can you feel that difference? Moving away from the old things and into that place of appreciation and absolute power. And as you have that happen, you might hear a little voice in your head shifting. You might hear going from language like, I can't, I don't understand. What if they don't like me? To things like, I've got this, or I'm going to find a way, or I'm going to make a way. Like, I am courage. You guys got this. It's a simple thing. If you're closing your eyes, you can open them up and come back to us now. You are all the more ready to get the very most out of this webinar. I want to just share with you a real quick little story. When I was young, I grew up in a loving family. I have three older brothers and three older sisters. Yes, I'm the youngest of seven. And when I was growing up, I loved this family. I felt just so protected and I felt really safe and secure and special. It was awesome. But then one after another, my brothers and sisters started going off to college as they would. They started leaving for school. And each time I felt like I was missing something more. Why am I telling you this story? I want you to know you don't need to miss out when it comes to this massive AI revolution. It's true. There's going to be more change in the next 5 years than in the last 500. Much of that change can be empowering for you. You don't need to worry about being left behind when you learn these tools. It's simple. So let's talk about some of the things we're going to be going through today. And here we are. The first one is that you want to learn these AI tools so that you can let go of feeling scattered. Who here ever felt overwhelmed? If you've ever felt overwhelmed, AI tools can help you leapfrog your old ways and leapfrog the competition. And in that way, you're going to totally understand how to be your best. Do you sometimes say, I'm not tech savvy? Or maybe you compare yourself to others and say, I'm not as tech savvy as so and so over there. That is simply a belief. It doesn't have to be thought of as something rooted in reality in any way whatsoever. So I invite you to take on a new belief. I am a tech savvy nerd, the likes of which you've never heard. I am a tech savvy nerd, the likes of which I've never heard. Awesome. Feel free to mute yourself because I want to spend a few minutes getting to know you and where you're at with your journey on AI. Luke, why don't you just, share a little bit more about yourself because we have had so much fun and I feel like you're my brother from another mother when it comes to this journey on AI. Share with us a little more about yourself.
Thanks, Jim. I come from England, a tiny little country way over the pond. And I live there with my wife and my son, Zaki, who's 6. And my wife and I are business coaches and love helping business owners like you do, Jim. And that's why I have so much respect and admiration for what you're doing here. My wife and I use AI on a regular basis. And I would say I am a tech savvy nerd, the likes of which no one has ever heard. However, I know I don't hold a candle to you, Jim, and I think your mastery of the subject is incredible. I'm here to help and support you, but I also want to learn because AI moves so quickly that we all need to keep up. And, a mentor of all of ours, Tony Robbins, says to model the best people. Tony talks about collapsing decades into days. With AI, we got to collapse months into minutes because things move so quickly from one day to the next. What I know, Jim, that was working for me 3 months ago is way behind the curve. And I think that sessions like this and people like yourselves that really lean into this professionalism and knowing the things that my nerdiness isn't going to get me there. I want to learn from masters like you so I can compress those months into minutes and leave today's session able to make a difference to myself and my clients by leaning in and by listening and by one thing you talk about a lot, Jim, it's implementation. There's a lot of information out there. I get overwhelmed, my wife gets overwhelmed, and I'm looking for people like you to give me clarity to take action without needing to know everything. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Luke. One thing I loved about those so many gems that you just shared is that it is all about resilience. We think it's about strategies and tools, but it's really about gaining persistence, flexibility, and being more resilient. It's all this stuff up here in between our ears. And that's what you need to be able to transform. I loved how you said it, to transform months into minutes, because it is changing so fast. And I think that's most people's biggest fear is how am I going to learn something new at this point in my life? It's my mission to help people embrace evolution, lean into evolving and trying new things. The quickest way to master something is by doing, getting into action and trying things. So that's why I want to honor all of you for being here right now, because you are saying yes to implementing and doing. You're on track to becoming an AI mastery hero. Thank you, Liz.
Jim, do you think I
Yes,
could become a Jedi master like you?
absolutely. It might be the lightsaber, it might be another tool. And with implementation, become an AI Jedi. So, Sasha, what about you? Tell us just, where are you from and what would you like to learn with AI? What's next for you?
Ah, I am from Agora Hills, California, and I am excited to grow into embracing a Jedi AI mindset.
Jedi mindset.
Yes, if I'm being honest, it makes me a little nervous how fast everything is going. I tend to have a limiting belief that I'm not very tech savvy, and I'm not sure if I'm able to keep up. So I'm really thankful that there's someone like you that's willing to to offer that support and then the clear direction on how to move forward in a simple way. It's a bit overwhelming when I just try to look at it on my own. So I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna try to figure it out the old way. But it hasn't been working very well. I'm so thankful you're offering this and ways to shift that mindset to see it as an opportunity to grow faster. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sasha. You shared so many gems, and it can't be said enough how important that mindset is. As your friend, I will not let you be left behind. I promise you will not be left behind. And I will guide you to overcoming that overwhelm. The first step is in physiology. It's like when you notice, oh man, I'm feeling like I'm not tech savvy and oh man, what look up? Get into that power stance we talked about when you're worried about AI and all these tools and maybe, your competition learning it or somebody putting you out of business because of AI tools. You actually first put your shoulders back, you make your heart go forward. That's it. Yeah. And I love how you're putting your hand on your heart. Breathe in and smile. Let that inner smile come out. Most people think the smile comes after we're feeling happy, things are going great, but it's the other way around. We go forward with our heart. We stand tall and strong. Maybe we make a move instead of being stagnant. If you have a move that makes you feel just go yes, like that. When you do that and you stand tall and you have kind of this expression on your face of joy, then the feelings come. Everything seems brighter. And you're like, oh, you know what? It's simple. I got this. All I have to do is start with a daily habit of using the tool of your choice. Maybe putting a reminder in your smartphone saying at 9 a.m., I'm going to open up, say, Chat GPT, and just try some prompt. And we'll talk about that in a little bit and move forward with those simple tools of moving forward, focusing on what we do want. What's the outcome I want for today using ChatGPT? I just want to have some fun. Put in a silly prompt like, knowing me, what are some fun things I might enjoy doing today? Just playful. And it might give you some ideas that help you move forward. So you can do that. And then as you do it, we talked about that. I am a tech savvy nerd.
Yes.
I am a tech savvy nerd.
Yes.
Yes, the key point of identity. So, who's an identity
Jim.
you could take on that would be, like if you feel on a scale of 1 to 10, a 5, what would be a slightly different identity, like a 6 or a 7? What would that look like?
I really appreciate the physiology reminder. It can get closed in my head. So resetting myself, probably standing up to be able, I usually have a
Yes.
standing desk. So being able to utilize that. And then that
That right
smile
there,
too helps
perfect.
me breathe. So even just that, I can feel an elevation of lightness.
I love it. Standing desk right there is powerful.
Thank you for that reminder.
Oh, thank you for sharing because you're not alone. Millions of people are feeling nervous. We see it all the time in the media. Is AI going to take over? What's going to happen with my job? Millions of people are concerned. But working at a standing desk, you can move forward. Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Eugenia, where do you live? What's next for you with AI? What's one thing you might like to utilize AI for? So, Eugenia, how about you?
Well,
Where are you from?
Europe, you're like Sasha, I think she's from the UK, isn't? Oh no, no, okay. Lucas from UK. So I'm from Lithuania,
She's
from
from
the north of
Lithuania,
Europe,
ladies and gentlemen.
and
Or
heart of Lithuania from Vilnius. Yeah, thank you so much. So my journey started with AI, I would say about like 1 year ago, and I was very careful what to use. I remember when I was trying to make myself music and I got stuck because I choose the style which I don't like. So I stopped using it because each time I was trying to create a music, it was playing a style which I hate.
It's awesome.
And
You
who
created
saved
AI
me?
music. I want to congratulate you.
You know who saved me? Jim. He showed me how to choose the right music. I created a new account and now I'm creating music. Same with pictures. I will give you an example. Yesterday, because you guys, you have been having fun in UPW. So I was replacing somebody who is having a meeting in a group and I wanted to make a good one. So I wanted to use images. So what I did, I was doing it on ChatGPT. He always cut out parts of it. So, being me, follower of Tony Robbins of our groups, I was very flexible leader. So I made it like a quiz, and I was putting up the slide and showing, okay, guys, what is missing? So in some parts it was missing, and it was not my intention. I know with prompts we can correct, but I'm not able it, and I know that there is another level of creating pictures, Midjourney, etc. But I never used it. That's why I'm here, and where I am. Thank you, Jim, for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you, Eugenia, for sharing. I admire your vulnerability and, you know, the demonstration of your flexibility. That was incredible. And for you to adapt in that way and engage your audience in that way is just remarkable. So, way to go, Eugenia. Hey. So, for all of us, we're talking about getting rid of overwhelm and overcoming it once and for all. How does that sound? You know, how would that feel to once and for all overcome overwhelm and just have it be a thing of the past? You know, like you might look back at how you were 10 or 20 years ago. Who here feels like a different person than they were, 10 or 20 years ago? Imagine 6 months from now, you've been engaged in this and you suddenly realize, oh man, I don't even feel overwhelmed anymore. That's the opportunity we have. We're going to let go of chasing all the AI tools and trying to learn every tool before we know which is right for us, before we really get clear on the thing that we and our business most need. So today we're going to explore that. We're going to explore just a few simple things, and we're going to look at some things called AI agents, as well as some really simple first steps with ChatGPT. We're going to preview my framework for getting the most out of your prompting. Let's take a look first at that. You're in ChatGPT and have all these things you can do. Who here has used ChatGPT? And keep your hand up if you use it a lot. Yeah, I see a lot for some and a little bit for others. That's fantastic. Wherever you're at is the perfect spot. If you hear that little voice in your head, it goes back to mindset. If you hear that voice saying, I don't know it enough, or I'm too far behind on it, or I'm too, into other things, so I'm not tech savvy. That word too is your alert word. When you see that word, ask compared to what? Compared to who I was a week ago, or compared to somebody who is done AI, since ChatGPT came out full strong. So that's exactly the key, is to know exactly what you want to do. Sasha, I see you have a question. Go ahead and unmute. Yes.
Sorry, it was me, Jim. I had a question.
Absolutely.
There are so many tools. How do you know which ones to use? Because you talked about not being overwhelmed, using a few strategic tools, which sounds fantastic. But how do I get over this, my mind saying, maybe they're not the right ones, and what are the ones you don't know about, and like keeping abreast almost of like what are the tools, and maybe those are better than the ones I'm using. That's something that comes up for me.
I love that question, Luke. You rock for asking it. Here's the key. Whenever you have that thought coming in, how do I know? It's kind of this strategy thought. And guess what? We all, as humans, do it. We are addicted to asking the how question. And it's a fear-based question, right? Instead of going there, put that off to the side, table it, and ask, what do I really want? What do I really need? What's the desire here? Look at your business, look at all the processes and go through that first question of what's the result that I want? What's an outcome you really want with your business that your intuition says AI can help?
That's a great question, Jim. I work with business owners, and the challenge is there is just a sea of marketing. I love being a business coach. Although I was in marketing for 20 years, I do not like marketing myself. There are people telling me they can get me clients, and some of these people are using AI, and I want to use AI myself so I can not only find clients quickly and easily and transfer that knowledge to clients who are overwhelmed by the speed of AI and which tools work.
Yes, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. That's a great outcome. And you can see how that really starts focusing you. And you're going like, okay, this is really what I want. And again, tell me a little bit more about what are some of the reasons that you really want this result so badly?
I work with my wife. Our mission is to change 10,000 businesses. To do that, I got to speak to 10,000 businesses. I know a ton of things that work, but things are shifting and there must be an easier way. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, and it feels like a battleground sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I'm bothering people, and I know there must be a better way to communicate how much I can help them. I feel like I'm knocking on the door like a needy salesman or calling them up and interrupting their day, and I know they're already busy. And I get a little bit in my head about how do I elegantly interrupt what they're doing so I can share how I can help them. And that's the big challenge for me.
That is so great. I really want to honor your vulnerability for sharing that. So thank you. It takes a lot to open up in a webinar like this and share what you shared, your concerns, your feelings that sometimes it feels like a battlefield. And so you clarified some things you want and some reasons. Tell me a little bit more about what emotions, for example, are you going to feel when you have clarified what tools to use and you know with confidence which ones to pick up. If you have a toolbox, you're going to pick up the hammer or the screwdriver. How is that going to feel, Luke?
I think it would give me clarity because I'm always working hard and I'm doing too much work that is not smart work. If I knew with certainty that I was using the right tools, then I wouldn't be distracting myself to doing things that are not adding clients or value to my business. I would have
Yes.
certainty that this is the right tool right now that is optimized for what I need to reach those clients.
Wouldn't that feel great to have that sense of clarity?
Yeah,
For sure.
100%.
What else would you gain? Is there anything else you would gain by being an AI empowered marketer?
Well, Jim, it's a simple answer. Spend more time with clients and less time in front of the keyboard. I love coaching, adding value, serving others. I do not love bothering others and doing all of this, messaging and everything else. It's a necessary evil in my world, Jim. And I would
Yes.
just love to do more of the
Good.
necessary good.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Luke. Who else will this benefit?
My wife, and what I love is that I would still spend a lot of time coaching, but I would have more time for my son as well. I live with my 6-year-old son, and I think even though he's only 6, the more I know about the right AI tools to use, the more I can help him at his young age to get conditioned to using these tools so he has an advantage.
I love that. Luke, I have one final question for you. Who are you going to become when you become this person that knows what tool to use, that has that sense of clarity? Who's that new Luke when you get to that mountain peak?
I guess it would be the opposite of confused Luke, which is how I feel a lot of the time.
Yeah, what does
I
that
really
opposite look like?
You know what's coming up for me, Jim, is I really love your name, Jedi Jim. I want to be Jedi Luke. And Luke was in Star Wars as well, so perfect. Really, I feel that. Feel that.
Oh, I love that. So that's the identity you're going for. That's the new you, Jedi Luke, holding that lightsaber ahead. And maybe that lightsaber will be like masterful use of Chat GPT even, or
Yeah.
maybe it'll be use of another marketing tool like Opus Clip for taking videos and chopping them up into little bits and making all those videos go onto social media in a super easy way. Or maybe it will be a tool like Relay, which will allow you to make agents and automate your processes and buy back all this time. So what we just did there, Luke, is we use my Regal framework. And I'm going to Chat GPT right now, and I'm just going to type in, use my Regal framework, share my Regal framework. And I'm asking Chat GPT about something that I've created. So how does it know this? It's going into my 5 key questions after you ask, what is the outcome I want? The first is, what are the reasons? The second is, what are the emotions you're going to feel? ChatGPT is a hallucinating. The key really is reasons, emotions. What else am I going to gain? Who else is this going to benefit? Who am I going to become the person that I love so much? And once you ask those questions, you're going to get super, super clear on who you really are and what you want and why. Do you feel better than before when you think about how you're going to empower yourself and your son and your wife?
Well, you know, Jim, it's funny. Like after I really connected with that Jedi Luke, I got this phrase. Can I use a dirty word on this webinar?
Sure.
Is that okay? When you said about the lightsaber, I imagined cutting through all the AI bullshit.
That's awesome. And I love using a dirty word like that because it can interrupt the little silly baloney stuff. The concern of what tool to use, maybe it's a bit of baloney. Because if you were a carpenter and you had a toolbox, you knew you had a nail there. If you reached into the toolbox and grabbed a crescent wrench, you could make progress with that nail. If you grab the hammer, you'll make a difference. And often when we're feeling like, what tool should I use? Often we're in something like time scarcity. We're really just worried about spending time and it not really working and us not being ahead. And again, it comes back into that mindset. So we go through the little work of asking what we really want and then going through that Regal framework for why we really want it. I offer that Regal framework because I'm not a fan of just asking why I want it. Because if you remember when you were a kid, you might have had a parent say, why did you do that, Jim? And it triggers this defensiveness. So it can actually make it a little bit harder to dig. So let's find another way. What are the reasons? What are the emotions that I'm going to feel when I'm in that place? And one thing, can I give you a little 2 millimeter shift, Luke?
Please do, Jim.
Awesome. Because you're already there. You're on the other side. When I was asking you the question, I noticed you were saying things you don't want. You don't want to feel confused. You feel like it's a little too much. With questions like, what emotions do I really want to feel? It gently forces us into thinking about what we really do want. Tony Robbins says, where focus goes, energy flows. We get more energy. When we focus on what we do want, if we stay in that place of, oh man, I'm so confused and worried about like spending all this time learning this tool and it not panning out. Right. When I see it, I'm starting to get down. When I think about that, it started. So if I change that and go, what emotions do I want to feel? I want to feel empowered. I want to feel on top of it. I want to feel like Jedi AI Luke and move forward with that sense of mastery and being a great dad and a great husband. And then we ask, what else will we gain? You said you would really be able to rock this marketing. Then we ask, who else will it benefit? We mentioned your wife, son, and clients. And then the last one, that identity piece, I often find to be the most powerful. So we get into that place of so much energy towards what we want. Then we look at the tools, and it's a relatively easy endeavor. Chat GPT is the most popular tool for good reason. It is a super powerful tool. It works well for brainstorming dialogue. You can even use it to ask, which tool do we want to use? You can even go, okay, I'm a so-and-so, I'm a marketer, and I really would like to go, what's a good first step? What might be some options for my weapon of choice Is it going to be a text LLM, a large language model that allows me to leapfrog over hours and hours wasted in my head trying to brainstorm by myself ideas and getting past like this really long, laborious first draft stage of any project that you're using? Or maybe you want to use a tool like this. This is relay.app, and it's one of my favorites for creating automations. And automations is another word for agents. AI agents are tools where you can string together different AI processes to produce a powerful result. For example, you could go to ChatGPT and you could say, tell me, how to get new clients. Some basic marketing 101. And it will use the whole universe of information and give you best standard practices for what's been said in this universe of data. Clarify who and why, really get into crafting a magnetic offer. And it gives you everything you want, but you have to take this information and do the next process. With an agent, you can put that into a first step and have it go through different things so that by the end of, like, say you let an agent run for a few hours or overnight, you could come back to it at the end of it and actually have a list of leads to contact. Or a few automations that I show here, you could sort your email. Who here hates dealing with email? If it's overwhelming and you don't know what to do and you're always on these newsletters that you got to get off, you could use an automation that will go through your email inbox, look at different categories, put the emails into different labels, write first drafts, summarize newsletters, deal with customer emails in a different way, and then tell you what other emails are left over. Wouldn't it be cool to wake up in the morning and have that all done?
Wow, yeah, absolutely.
And then we have a meeting briefing generator. Say you have a few, a Zoom meeting set up for the day. You could run this automation and it will go gather information about the people that you're meeting with. So you come prepared to deliver relevant content to them. Those are AI agents. They allow you to string together different applications. And you start with a trigger. You go in and you say, okay, when I do X with a certain app, then start this automation. Or you could have the trigger based on time. Every day at 6 a.m., start this process and go through my different things. You can do one from scratch or use their helpful assistance. It will prompt every Sunday, I want to do this. You can get a start on what you need to do. It will lead you through a wizard on exactly what to create.
Right. We're taking screenshots of Jim.
The Rockstar Framework is a simple acronym for getting the most powerful results when you're working with an LLM tool like ChatGPT.
And what is an LLM, Jim? What's an LLM?
It's a large language model, and it's basically a text AI. Think of it as a text AI I like to think of the text AIs, Luke, as my brainstorming buddy. It's just my constant companion, and I talk to it a lot. And I encourage you to too. If you're using ChatGPT like once a day, what would it take for you to use it 5 times a day? If you can, tie it to a habit you already do. If you have 3 meals a day, maybe right after you eat, you go, I'm going to open up ChatGPT and think of something that I could ask it. And here's the way you want to ask it. You want to use this Rockstar Framework. And it goes through all these different things. And in this webinar, I'm just going to talk about the first and the last because of time. But the Rockstar Framework really allows you to get to the most useful results whatsoever. The R stands for role. The first R is what's the role you want this ChatGPT or this Gemini to do for you. Who do you want perplexity to be? I'm just naming a few tools. ChatGPT is the most popular, but there are others. Some people prefer. How do you know which one to use? You just try it. See if it works intuitively for you. I find that ChatGPT is the tool of my choice. It feels intuitive. It's easy to use. It gives me everything I want. I can even create images in it. Who do you want to be? Who do I want you to be? That's the role. The second letter is O for options. You're going to want it to give you 3 results, half a dozen, or 50 ideas. You're going to want to constrain those possibilities. Maybe don't write a whole novel. I don't have time to read all this stuff. Maybe a simple 500 character answer. So what's something we might want? Be a world-class marketer. If you make typos, you don't have to worry. It does a great job of understanding. Be a world-class marketer and give me 3 options, 3 ideas, a blog campaign that will boost my brand. What else might me say about that, Luke? Anything come to your mind? Boost my brand. And we're going to want to, constrain this, in less than 1,000 characters. You are on the run. You're going to a meeting. You do not have time. You're going right in there. That's all you have to do. That's the first 3 of the Rockstar. We get an answer going. While it's coming up, I'll say the next ones as we go through. Just keep swimming, persist. If you don't get the result you want, try again. The S stands for be specific. Don't use vague image. Don't use vague language like, give me some good stuff. You want to say specifically what you want. Engaging content that is irresistible and people will not be able to pass it by. And then let's just look at these results now that they came up. 3 high impact blog campaigns under 1,000 characters. AI shift series. I could do a blog series from fear to freedom with AI. And each post reframes the question, what if? That works really well. And ChatGPT is saying that because it knows I'm writing a book called, currently the working title is A Shift in What If. And that's all about going from what if bad things happen? What if I don't learn AI? What if I don't choose the right tool? To empowering questions like, what if I am the most amazing AI empowered marketer? What if I am supercharged and gifted with these tools, getting every client I ever wanted in a super powerful and efficient way? Next blog campaign they have is Better Than Busy Challenge. Everybody loves a challenge. The third one is the Future Ready Entrepreneur Files. So we have all these different things we could do, and we just got that just by focusing on role, give me some options, and constrain the results so that it's not overwhelming. And then again, we talked about keep swimming, K for keep swimming, being persistent, S for being specific, and then T is about tone. What's the kind of tone that you want the answer to be? Sometimes fun and friendly, casual, and other times you really need it to be professional. You don't want any emojis, for example. You really want it just to be by the book, impressing the executive or CEO. And then the A stands for audience. Write this for a CEO, an executive, or at a 5th grade reading level, right? As if a PhD candidate was reading the result. You can say who you want this level of this information for. And then the last one I'll focus on a little bit more. The first R is role. If you don't remember anything else, do the R every time. Tell ChatGPT who to be. Act as a world-class marketer. The second R is reflect. If you can, remember to do this every time. It's so powerful. And that's simply adding a little phrase onto it. And the phrase is, before executing, reflect on this request and ask any clarifying questions so we get the most outstanding results. Doesn't have to be word for word, just before executing, reflect on this and ask any clarifying questions so we get the most outstanding results. We'll take this prompt we did before and tag that on beforehand. reflect and ask any questions so that we get most outstanding results. If you've ever heard me say this, but you haven't done it, when would now be a good time to start? It's so powerful. Okay, and then we put that in and see how the results change. It won't always ask questions. Sometimes it knows enough about you or your request that it'll just move forward. And other times it will ask questions to get the best ideas. Right now, it's going forward with ideas it has. So in this case, it didn't need any more. So if I was a little vague in the request, it might ask, who's your audience? Who's your ideal client? What is your outcome? Do you want this blog to achieve? More customers? Or, okay, I see you have a question. Go ahead, ask away. Eugenia.
I was ready to wait till you finished the topic. I didn't want to interrupt.
No, this is great. This is an interactive talk, so I love it. How can we help?
I was thinking about the responsibility to talk instead of writing the questions, like, they're giving prompt.
I'm so glad you asked that. That is one of my favorite things about this AI revolution. I am just like you, Eugenia. I would much rather not laboriously type it in. If you have a computer that allows you to use a dictation on your laptop or desktop, by all means, you can use that and just talk it in. That's the first thing. You can also get the AI, the like Chat GPT app on your smartphone, and it is super easy to use that to talk it in. I actually prefer those ways. There's something about the process that is just intuitive to me. There's a third way in ChatGPT. Just click this little button here, and it's saying, do I want to allow it? Yes, I want to allow it. I can go in and say, I'm working with an awesome group of business owners, entrepreneurs, and marketers who want to take their AI to the next level. I commend them for having the courage to step up and the foresight to prioritize this and make it a priority. So, what are some ways these innovative entrepreneurs, business owners, and marketers can use AI to empower their business right now and take their first steps to become a tech-savvy nerd that is totally on top of this, and people are honoring and respecting them for their work and seeing them as this beacon of possibility. And then you say, okay, go. It processes that file, bam, you got it. There's yet another way, super fun. After it finishes this answer, you can pull up GPT and start a new conversation. On my smartphone here, I can press a certain button that goes into a conversation mode. Hey, today I am working on a new project where I would just really love to convert more leads into customers. So what's one way that I could have maybe a lost lead opportunity? I've heard something about that, but I don't really know what it is. A low price offer, a low, what do they call it? A low ticket offer, so that I can get people to, in a small, safe way, start doing business with me so that they become an initial customer. And then maybe I can, in the future, add other offers to meet their needs so much that they become raving fans.
Ticket offer could be a great way to convert. Consider offering a small, valuable solves a specific problem.
The quality is not good because it is not connected.
Thank you for saying that. That's because of Zoom's audio feature here that sometimes will make it be, they're drowning out the sounds in the background so that they don't want to have you blown out here. Here we go. Thank you for telling me that. That's awesome. Tell me if you can hear it now. Give me some ideas for marketing.
Jim.
Jim, if you pick the phone up and put it close to your mouth, it's going to pick it up the same way as you present. Now, turn the speaker around the other way.
Okay. Yes, that's okay. We'll do this later. You can try it on your chat GPT at home. It's not my favorite way, but it's a personality thing. Some people really like to have this conversation. And one place that it can be great when you're occupied, if you're driving, it's not too distracting. You can start an AI conversation and 3 hours later have ideas that change everything. I encourage you to try different things. At the very least, use a dictation tool. It works intuitively for how I think. I'm visual, I guess. So I'm visual, but I don't want to spend all that time typing. If, maybe you're more auditory, this is another thing that Tony teaches. We all communicate in different styles. Sometimes people are very visual. Sometimes people hear better. And sometimes people are more kinesthetic. Find out the style that works best for you.
Thanks so much for answering till now. I want to be clear which functions I'm getting with the free version and when I can get this agent already who communicates with me from which version, because they are like, paid versions, but in different levels.
That is fantastic question, Eugenia. Thank you for asking it. And what I recommend, go ahead and use something like ChatGPT and ask it. One way I could look at this is I'm teaching people how to use a tool that could put me out of business. It may answer all your questions. I want that to happen. I want you to use ChatGPT so much that you get all the answers you want. So right now, tell me the difference between the free version of ChatGPT and the $20 a month version. Can I create custom GPTs with the free version? Can I create images in the free version? See what it says. Sometimes ChatGPT is wrong. It's gotten better. In the beginning, it hallucinated like 40% of the time, just guessed answers. It wasn't really coming up with factual information. Now it's down to 1%. It's better, but it will make mistakes. You got to verify there's results. For something like this, it can give you a high level version that works. It tells me I have usage caps on the free version, more web browsing on the paid version. Free users can do up to 2 images per day, and others can make tons of images, the ones who use the paid service. And it specifically answers custom GPTs. That is not something you can do with the free version. I highly recommend the $20 a month version. I know that there are many things that you can spend your money on. This is one that you get 100 times the value. It is so powerful of an investment. We don't have time to go in depth on what a custom GPT is, but think of it this way. When we talked about the powerful prompt, we said, be a certain thing, like be a world-class marketer. Well, you can even go way, way more by having like a knowledge base of information attached to your mini version of ChatGPT so that it focuses highly on that one area. So for example, I said, let's tie your use of ChatGPT to a habit, like 3 meals a day. I have one custom GPT that is all about creating habits. So I could say, how can I, again, how can I most effectively create a habit of using ChatGPT every day using, the best habit building strategies? And then we go into it and let it process that prompt. Instead of using all the information, it's hyper focusing on one area. If it doesn't get answers from this custom group, it will look at the world of information and give you more. Some tools don't do that, but this one does. After I open my browser, maybe to do my email, I will open ChatGPT, make my morning cup of coffee, check my calendar. These are fantastic ways to stack your habit of using AI onto something you're currently doing. This is essential. AI is not going to replace you, but people using AI could put you out of business. It's that important. In 1996, I learned about the internet and it changed my life. I couldn't believe how I could suddenly publish things without getting the approval of an editor in New York. And it opened many doors for me. It's like 1/100th of what's happening with AI every day. Often I'll have like a really big business problem that I would usually go to some expert for. Say something's not working on my website. What would you do if something was broken on your website? You would go to a webmaster or web designer. You might look at Fiverr or Upwork and find some pro. You might go through this whole laborious process. Or if you're lucky, you might already have that person a short email away, but maybe they're not available for 2 weeks. It's urgent. What do? You turn to ChatGPT and say, how do I do this? And you copy and paste what it tells you to do. And you can do things so complicated that you can't believe. We talked about making songs. That's fun. What if you could create a website in minutes, just copying and pasting what ChatGPT tells you? Or you go to a website creating tool and you just say, make me a website that has these colors, has these pages, and uses this general idea for copy. Bam, in seconds, you'll have something that you could work with. And even better, have you ever thought of creating an app? You could create your own software. You don't even need to know a programming language. Ask something like ChatGPT, be a world-class programmer, create an app for me. It won't just create text, it will give you code that you can copy into something else that will actually make it a working program. Yes, this is possible, and this is what people are doing now. You could create an app a week if you wanted to, and I recommend that you do that. And maybe, 52 apps in a year, what's the likelihood of one actually, lighting your market on fire? And what would it be like if instead of just always sending your market emails, always giving them engaging and entertaining information that moves them to action, what if you actually had a software too? What if you were providing a tool they could use for their work? It's amazing what's possible today. All of this leapfrogs over the time delay you've had in the past. Pretty exciting, right? That's how we really need to look at it every day is go, oh my God, I can't believe what I could do. And that's what I want for you. I want you to feel you're in that mindset of empowerment. If you're feeling worried, you can go into that powerful stance. Use an exercise like taking 1 minute, putting on your favorite kind of calm music and breathing in deep and just remembering a time when you felt so clear, when you felt so confident. And you can use that mindset to move forward with resilience. If you don't get the result you want with the AI tool, this is key for this entire AI revolution. Before looking for tools, eliminate anything that is just garbage. It's just non-value. It's what Dean Graziosi calls gray stuff. It's the stuff that doesn't move you closer to your goals. Can you think of anything like that right now? Can you think of something right now that is kind of like, yeah, I see hands going up. That's awesome. Me too. One might be doom scrolling. I know none of you do doom scrolling, but if someone is spending even a half hour a day doing that, add up the time you're wasting in that gray matter, not moving you closer to your goals. Eliminate anything that isn't important. And then you get to the next step and you engineer, you automate the things that really do need to be made. Now, one way to look at this, the email inbox, eliminate those newsletters, unsubscribe, get them out of your life. Then go to the next step, sort the rest of them. Let's create an automation, maybe an AI action that processes your work or creates a list of leads to follow up. Let's go from doom scrolling to prompt rolling. Let's do it. And then the last of these is you transfer. The stuff that is important, maybe it doesn't need to be on your plate. Do you really need to be answering every email? Do you really need to be the one that is cleaning your toilet? You could get somebody to help you do that. you could delegate a lot of what you do. Sometimes we tend to overestimate who we are. We tend to think, oh, I'll feel more special if I do it myself, if I do everything myself. Or sometimes we feel like we need to control things. Sometimes we need, for a sense of certainty and security, we need to do it ourselves. If it's meant to be done, we got to do it ourselves. And that's not true. There is stuff you can use AI to leverage or hire a virtual assistant or an executive assistant. There are things that you could transfer to AI tools or people on your team. And if you're like myself and you've thought in the past, I don't have a team. Does anybody here ever feel like a solo entrepreneur? It's just me. Expand your thought and think outside the box. Your team could include a tool you could use. You could think of a certain, say, software that you use as part of your team. If you use any partners you occasionally talk to, if you have great friends, you might think of them as your team. No, you're not alone. You're in this together. Your team may even include people that are, you might have thought in the past were your competitors. And if with a little shift, you might think that actually you're on the same mission, right? Maybe you're trying to help in some way make some change in the world. Instead of competitors, think of them as co-inspirers. Isn't that revolutionary? You could have people on your team doing it in a slightly different way. I'd love to talk to you about what we can do next. I have different ways we could work together. If you hire me as a coach, it would cost up to $30,000 a year. You could have me one-on-one and we could be talking all the time. But we have other ways that we could work together that will give you the results you want. And I just want you to think about what could your life really look like, in just a few weeks. What if you breathed in and picture no overwhelm? What would it be like to feel confident, knowing the right answer is at your fingertips at any time? What kind of value would that be when you felt that calm, that ability to move forward with a sense of security? And what would it be like if you could automate your business to the next level and do this in a way where you're working with peers? It's my dream to help all my friends and family, everybody out there, to let go of the sense of like there's too much information. Like, yes, there's another thing to learn. What if we could overcome overwhelm and make sure we're not losing revenue? Keith Cunningham likes to ask a very powerful question. What would your business be like if no client ever left? How much revenue would you still have? If you could use tools that allowed you to leave no money on the table, what would that be like? It's revolutionary. And what if you were just like saying, to hell with procrastination, it's gone. We're going to live in productivity forever now. Can you see that? Can you see that life bringing in income streams while you sleep? Not only financial resources, but time with your friends, with your children, with your spouse. You actually have the ability to go on that trip that you've always dreamed of without bringing your phone or your laptop and frantically trying to get things done. What if it would be like if you could be 100% present when you were enjoying those adventures together and making those memories? And we all know that that's at the end of our life going to be the thing that matters. When we're in our rocking chair, we're not going to be thinking about how I didn't answer those emails or, what if I got that project done at work? We're going to be thinking about those magic moments that we had with the people we loved. We're going to be thinking about those times that we just laughed our butts off, laughed so hard that maybe, milk was coming out of your nose. We're going to be thinking about those times when we felt so much love, so much gratitude that we were almost overwhelmed. And we're going to be getting more energy, imagining celebrating those victories every day and just feeling like that total hero. That's my vision. My vision for you is that you become the hero of your business, that you leapfrog over your competitors, and you are constantly celebrating. You are daily celebrating, like dancing with your friends, going, I can't believe how blessed. And you're saying things like, I love my life. Yeah, that's what we can have. It's at your fingertips. You may not even believe it. In my upcoming course, there are 6 pillars of information, and they're very easy to remember. It's SPRINT. The first module, we're going to simplify your system. We're going to make it go down from all these tools where, and also, kind of is in the darkness of our mind, right? We don't really know what tools they are. We're going to put a light on that and bring it out of our mind and into our heart to know which tools we need to focus on. What is going to be the things that we need? The second module, we're going to get into precision planning. I have a framework that's going to change your life, and we got a taste of it today when we talked about Regal, those ways of getting deep on your why, but it goes much deeper. And then the third module, we're going to go deep and in depth on that Rockstar prompting that I shared with you. You're going to learn the full way to get the most out of the prompts you create and become your own prompt engineer. In the fourth module, we talk about agents. Who here would love to wake up and have things ready for you to do? It's one of my most exciting visions, and I hope that for you too. And then the fifth module, we're going to dive deep on that mindset. Not only can you use AI for things like marketing, converting, getting more sales, growing your business, but you can actually use AI to speed up your personal transformation. We can use AI to get to a place where we're living and empowering emotions every day and feeling a sense of purpose. Because we all know that if we're feeling down, if we're feeling low energy, if we're feeling like we don't really know why we're here, we all know that that's bad for business. So we're going to learn how to use AI to get to the answers that we need and to have the personal growth that we need and that mindset of empowerment, and to be able to live there, have lasting change that we can actually stay there. Using AI tools, we're going to track what matters most in the final module. We're going to learn how to measure so we can grow, because what we measure, we can manage. We're going to learn how to make the most by celebrating. So we're going to have 2 weekly sessions, one where you're going to learn and the other where you're going to actually do it. And then we're going to talk in a collaborative community. We're going to use Zoom lessons so that you can work together. And if you ever have to miss one, it's going to be no problem at all. You're going to be able to catch up by watching the recording. I'm going to give you tools and templates that you're going to be able to just copy and paste and just have the easiest path. I believe in making it easy. If it feels hard, there are ways to make it smooth. So we implement, optimize, and accelerate growth. The biggest difference is when you actually do things. I love this proverb. If I hear, I forget. If I see, I might remember it. When I do it, I understand it. I'm going to show you how to get into action instead of just taking notes and having a shelf full of ideas you never work on. We are going to do it together. Every single week, we're going to make sure we get it done. I have bonuses, and these are not ones that are just going to sit in your email inbox. They're designed for implementation. So you're going to be able to move forward in every way possible. So I give you all these bonuses and more. And the value of this altogether, the investment is just $6,200. That's what it would be normally. But because you're here, join today in the course for only $1,200. You're going to be able to feel that sense of progress on that thing that is so important to you. Have you ever dreamed of writing a book? Have you ever thought of what would it be like if I created that YouTube following to offer something relevant and valuable and make sales, or maybe you want to launch a business. You don't have to do this alone. After you finish the course, you'll be certified. You'll be an AI certified master. And I know that this is going to be so valuable for you, but I want to make sure that that little mind up here doesn't trick you by making you worry about anything. So if you do the course and it's not for you, within the first 7 days, all you have to do is send us an email and you will be fully refunded. But what's more, you'll get to keep all the bonuses. It's the best thing available today to get you to the next level of Jedi AI mastery, and you have nothing to worry about. Today is your time to shine. If you'd like to join, I'll put the link in the chat, and I encourage you to sign up as soon as possible to get in on this next course. We'll send you an email and a registration form so that you can get all of your questions answered as you go forward. Thank you for joining me today. I wish you the best on your AI journey. I would love to help you get to that next level so that you become the hero of your business and life. Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, Jim. I just had a couple of questions. Anyone else have any questions? Eugenia, did you have any questions? I can go first.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eugenia. So, Jim, you went real quick through that, and I heard a ton of bonuses. I've had a ton of bonuses before, and they don't end up being the thing, but thank you for the generosity. But I did see on one of your slides, I don't know whether you can put it back up there, but it said you get a one-to-one session. Is this a group session? How does this work? Is it one-on-one? Is it group? Is it a digital course where we just get the video modules and do it ourselves? Because again, I have invested in courses like that, and I kind of got halfway through and I didn't finish them.
Thanks for asking, Luke. Thank you so much for asking. And the reason why I went very fast is my computer's about to die.
Leaders anticipate.
Leaders anticipate. I got charging now, so we're good to go. This is a course where you are going to be with peers and you're going to have my guidance. You're going to be encouraged as you go forward to implement so that you actually get over that feeling of, not being able to do it. Like another self-help book. Let me put that screen up again.
Thanks, Jim.
You're very welcome.
When they say things look too good to be true, you've got to ask a question.
I really appreciate it. So, because I believe in the power of interaction, that's why we're going to be working together. You're going to be having homework assignments that you implement. And I have found in the past that that is the solution for that problem of just buying something and never getting to it. When you get into a course that is more self-paced, you can do it at any time, it's pre-recorded. We tend to let the distractions of the world dominate our schedule. And we say, that's a should, not a must. And I'll get to it once I'm done with these big fires. By having me on the other end of the line, you will feel motivated to do the work. Jim is expecting this. That is a powerful motivator. It pulls us forward. We'll focus on what we really want instead of what we don't want. We're going to forever put behind that constant little nagging little mind saying, I don't want to feel confused. I don't want to feel overwhelmed. And we're going to be focusing on what we do want so that we move forward and actually make it move forward. Does that answer your question? Feel free to continue. You have great questions, Luke.
Thank you for that. I think I missed this, Jim, and that's why I asked, is this just one of those pre-recorded things?
Yes.
I think you're right. The implementation is where I've had missing in other courses I've invested in. What's your question, Eugenia?
I haven't seen how long is the course.
That is a great question. And we're going to go in depth on this for 6 weeks. I really want to give you everything you need. In the past, I've taught the AI course in 3 weeks, meeting 2 times a week, which is great. But sometimes that's a little overwhelming for people to absorb 2 times the amount of information every week with a busy schedule. So this week, we're going to absorb the new material once and then have a workshop. In case you didn't get to the homework on your own, work together, work with me so that we definitely get through the process of execution. Knowledge is not really power. Knowledge, it's not really power. Knowledge, it doesn't do anything. If it's sitting on your shelf, that's useless. The way we know that we know is we're getting results. So that's what that workshop is going to be. 6 weeks. One lesson will be information, and one time will be an implementation workshop. Does that sound like fun?
Thank you.
I encourage you to sign up. Does anybody else have any questions?
I forgot because I was focused on this one. You mentioned one-on-one coaching, and I know that's probably out of my budget right now. I saw on one of your slides that we get a one-to-one session. That sounds useful, but I don't think I have the 30,000. So how does that work?
So yes, if you want to try the coaching, we could do a session for $200. You go in depth, combine that with the course if you would like, so that you have lots of information coming in that's in a group setting. When I'm in a big group of people, your cost goes down. The investment is much less. It's just as simple as that. But when it's one-on-one, it goes up, but you don't have to go for the whole yearly program. We can just do trial offer for coaching session to get in depth, to make sure that you're getting the exact information that you need. That's the Do It With You program, less structured than a course.
Yeah, that makes sense. I thought I saw on the slides that we got a free session if we signed up.
Thank you, Luke.
I apologize if I did, Jim. I'm always looking for a great deal when I'm investing in my own learning.
You are so awesome to bring that up. With this, you get a personalized roadmap worth $1,000. That is an in-depth coaching session where we're going to go deep and get 10 times the amount of coaching so that you can dive into your specific solution. That is 100% included in this. So that, it just, again, my mission is to help everyone not lose their livelihood. My mission is to make sure that in this change, you are on top. You're able to free up all the stuff that AI can do. So you put the human element to the stuff that only a human can do. Try to picture that for your business. Whatever can be automated.
I was just blessing you, Eugenia. I could see us sneezing. I'm sorry. That's my nature.
That's a good nature. Bless you, Eugenia. And bless you, Luke, for reminding me that's a super powerful bonus that will skyrocket your business to the next level.
It's just for verification, Jim. I'm sorry if I'm asking a lot of questions, but I like to.
Sorry, don't apologize. You ask a question. It's a benefit to everybody. So thank you.
I like detail before decisions. The personalized roadmap, that's a one-to-one coaching session with you that you normally charge $1,000 for.
Right, exactly.
I get that if I sign up for $1,200. And you said it was 6 weeks, is that right?
That's right.
And when does it start, Jim?
It starts within 2 weeks. Try to get everything you need before the holidays. So, we're going. Yeah, we want to make sure that you can relax.
Ready for next year.
What would that be like, Luke, if at the beginning of the next year, instead of making New Year's resolutions, you were able to move forward with your business as a completely empowered AI master?
I still hear your emails.
It's okay. Thank you for pointing that out. There's nothing really sensitive in those emails. But we're looking at.
I like the idea, Jim.
Yeah. Starting off on October 28th, let's get the ball rolling and get through those 6 weeks and then give you a little time to rest with your friends and family. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes. It went a little blocky then, but it's great.
Thank you. Monday, October 28th. I'll put it in the chat.
Great.
Thank you.
Can you hear me, Jim?
Yes.
One more question, and then I'm done. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
So 12 sessions, $1,200.
Right.
And they get a one-on-one coaching session. Great. Jim, I do like to think about it myself, but is there a chance to have a follow-up call with you if I have any other questions before I make my decision?
Luke, you can have a follow-up call where we can answer any questions. You can book a call with me. Could be as quick as 15 minutes.
Is there a link you could share for that?
Absolutely. Thank you, brother.
I'm sorry. I think that's all of my questions. I appreciate your time today, Jimmy.
Thank you. You rock, Luke. Your questions have been helpful, and I want to reiterate that when you ask questions like this, you actually help other people too. You
Yeah.
know, other people are wondering the very same thing. So I'm putting in the chat the link to book a follow-up session with me. And I'll put this in the recording as well, so others can do the same. If you have questions, feel free to book a time. It's my mission to help you become the AI-empowered version of you. You got this. Yeah, let's celebrate.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim, one other thing. I'm so sorry. I got a ton of value out of today.
Me too.
Will we get the recording of this call?
Yes, we'll process the recording as soon as possible using AI tools, and we'll give you everything. If you need to refer back to anything, you can watch the whole recording, or you can just refer to a transcript of it or an organized summary of it. All compliments of the AI tools that we use and our awesome team. We're happy to help you move forward. My delight. Yes, Eugenia.
So this
Good.
course will be repeated later?
This course may be repeated, but I'm constantly in development. So I encourage you, if you're interested, to go for it at this time. If you have questions, it may be a different version in the future. And when would now be a good time to just go for this? When
Yeah,
would
well,
now
the
be a good time?
time question. That's why I have one exam coming. So
Yes.
it's like, yeah, it's
That
like
that is a really good question, and I'm really glad that you brought it up. The time question is handled in the course. With the framework I teach, you're going to be able to actually multiply your time so that actually you're going to be actually saving time by taking the course. So with using AI tools and with using the framework that I teach, you can, in a very simplified way, you can prioritize your inbox, spending less time on urgent, I got to do it. And it's so zapping of our time and energy. And you're going to be able to focus on what matters most, getting the life of your dreams. That's getting to live in those empowering emotions every single day. AI is a big part of it. I'm excited to have you join us. Thank you for your time and attention. I really honor it that you took the time for this. Out of everything that you could possibly do, you chose this. That means a lot. And I really appreciate your questions. So let's celebrate and have a great time. Song of joy. We're going to wake up to the new future. Here we go. Yes. Have fun. This is AI generated stuff.
Dreams behind, chains are forged inside a little mind, existing in truth.